Welcome to CognitionChunks. I'm going to Yellowstone National Park soon. This is my first visit and I would like to get as much out of my trip as I can. Can I use GPT to prepare? This is Native American History in Yellowstone. Introduction. Yellowstone National Park is globally renowned for its geothermal features, wildlife, and pristine landscapes. However, the cultural and historical depth of this land is often overlooked. Long before it became the world's first national park, Yellowstone was home to Native American tribes who lived, hunted, and held the area as sacred ground. Pre-European contact. 1. The first peoples. Archaeological evidence indicates that Native Americans have lived in and around Yellowstone for over 11,000 years. 2. Key tribes. The Shoshone, Bannock, Blackfoot, Crow, and Nez Perce are some of the key tribes associated with Yellowstone. 3. Cultural importance. The region was a rich source of obsidian, used for making tools and weapons, as well as a place for spiritual quests and medicinal plant gathering. Traditional livelihoods. 1. Hunting. Bison, elk, and other game were primary food sources, and their hides were used for shelter and clothing. 2. Fishing. Yellowstone Lake and its tributaries provided abundant fish, which were also a significant food source. 3. Gathering. Berries, roots, and medicinal plants were foraged seasonally. Spiritual significance. 1. Sacred sites. Features like geysers and hot springs were often considered sacred and were places for rituals and ceremonies. 2. Vision quests. The mountains and secluded areas in Yellowstone were sites for spiritual quests and rites of passage. 3. Oral histories. Stories and legends often featured the park's landmarks as spiritual or mythical places. European arrival and its impact. 1. Disease. The introduction of smallpox and other diseases had a devastating impact on native populations. 2. Territorial disputes. The arrival of Europeans escalated conflicts over this resource-rich land. 3. Horses and guns. The introduction of horses and firearms changed the socio-political landscape and hunting techniques. Modern recognition and reconnection. 1. Tribal consultation. Today, the National Park Service engages in consultation with Native American tribes to include them in the stewardship of the land. 2. Cultural programs. Native American groups are increasingly involved in educational programs that aim to enlighten visitors about the park's deeper history. 3. Land acknowledgement. Efforts are being made to acknowledge the traditional custodians of Yellowstone, both in official park literature and in visitor centers. Conclusion. Understanding Yellowstone National Park involves more than just an appreciation for its natural wonders. It requires an awareness of the deep cultural and historical ties the land has with Native American communities. By acknowledging and studying the Native American history of Yellowstone, we can approach the land with a more comprehensive and respectful perspective, enriching our experiences and ensuring more ethical engagement with this revered landscape. For the visitor interested in the breadth of what Yellowstone has to offer, delving into its Native American history offers a deeper, more nuanced view. This exploration enriches not only our understanding of the park but also of a cultural heritage that has long been marginalized yet is integral to the very identity of this iconic landscape. And so, dear history buffs and knowledge seekers, we reach the conclusion of today's profound episode, Native American History in Yellowstone, an in-depth look. We've traversed not just miles of beautiful landscape, but also hundreds of years of indigenous history and culture. From the early Shoshone tribes to the later influence of the Blackfeet and Crow peoples, their untold narratives paint the original tapestry of Yellowstone National Park. This wasn't merely a historical expedition. We also examined how this rich heritage informs our understanding of the park today. In a future episode, I would like to delve into the legacy of the native people's sustainable practices and land management, wisdom that has critical relevance in our modern dialogue on conservation. Also to look at native iconography, totems, and petroglyphs, not just as cultural artifacts, but as intellectual legacies. We've also touched on the sensitive issues of land rights, displacement, and the ongoing struggle for recognition and reparation. It's a poignant reminder that Yellowstone's story isn't simply one of geysers and grizzlies, but of a rich tapestry of human interaction with the land that spans generations. If this episode has expanded your historical horizons and made you a more informed visitor or citizen, please smash that like button. Are you new to CognitionChunks? Consider subscribing for a weekly helping of chunky knowledge nuggets. And if you have any insights or questions about today's topic, let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. Until our next educational odyssey, this is CognitionChunks reminding you that the past isn't a static page in a textbook, but a living, breathing entity that shapes our understanding of places like Yellowstone. Stay curious and keep adding chunks to that cognitive arsenal of yours. Was this accurate? Did GPT just make up a bunch of stuff that does not exist or does not make sense? I'll let you know how GPT did in a few weeks.